Yeah, I know everyone really likes to look ahead to the weekend, so I figured give us something to think about here with BYU and Baylor. BYU, Teddy, is now in the top 25. I don't think anybody was projecting that at the start of the season, but give them credit. They're 4-0 straight up and against the number, but I think it's a good time to jump in and fade the team from Provo. You mentioned the blowout win over Kansas State, 38-9. Teddy, I know you love to open up these box scores after the fact, dig for some information. It was a very misleading final, in my opinion. I'm not saying BYU didn't deserve to win the game. I'm saying winning 38-9 didn't tell the full story. They were actually outgained 367-241. You don't see that very often in a 38-9 win. The Cougs, they went from down 6-0 to up 31-6 pretty quick on both sides of the half. The key, 2 non-offensive touchdowns. One was a fumble return, the other a long punt return. I will quote Ralph Michaels again when he saw in our little group chat before the show that I was going to be talking about this game. He passed this nugget along. Teams that won the previous week while being outgained by 120 or more yards and are now an away dog, as BYU is, 29-50-2 against the number. You filter out those dogs of 21 or more, 19-45-2 against the number. So a good fade spot for BYU, in my opinion. Teddy, I won't step on your segment and go too deep into the Baylor-Colorado game. We all saw what happened at the end of regulation there. Shades of Michael Westbrook breaking Michigan's heart 30 years ago. That was a game the Bears led most of the way. They were up 2 touchdowns at one point before losing in overtime. And I believe this is the first time this season we do have the unranked team favored against a top 25 opponent. That's a situation in college basketball or football I tend to gravitate towards. So in a couple shops, including DraftKings, this is ticked to 2.5. I'm interested to see how the line moves the rest of the week. If it keeps coming down, I mean, I'll just take Baylor money line, but I would definitely play Baylor here -3 or lower.
I want to talk conceptually about what you want to do with 4-0 ATS teams. We got Ole Miss, Tennessee, BYU, Eastern Michigan, Pitt, San Jose State. Those are the 6 teams that are 4-0. A good handful of teams are 3-0 and 3-0-1. But specifically, the 4-0 teams, they've all built up some type of betting bandwagon. Maybe not Eastern Michigan so much or San Jose, but certainly Ole Miss, Tennessee, BYU. If you bet them once, you're likely to bet them again. Are teams that have gone 4-0 ATS, are you convinced at this stage the markets have caught up with how good they are? Do you think they tend to be overvalued? Or in general, do you want to ride these streaks until they die and you're not going to be convinced that a team's overvalued until they actually show that they're overvalued by losing a game or losing a point spread?
It's a team-by-team, game-by-game basis with me, Teddy. Now, again, I think people know from me coming on the show, generally when a team gets really hot against the spread, I am looking for an excuse to fade them. You look at some of those teams to run through. I mean, Texas, my God, they open up as a 40-point favorite in conference play this week. I don't even know if I could stomach Mississippi State in that situation. But, yeah, you look at it. I mean, I have a number. If I think the number is inflated compared to what I have, it gives me maybe a little extra juice to fade that 4-0 against the spread team. Again, it's a game-by-game. It's not something I'm looking to do blindly. In this particular instance with BYU kind of being off what I'll call a phony result. I think that's fair in terms of the final margin of victory. And them being a surprise team, too. Like I said at the outset, Teddy, no one thought BYU was going to be ranked. I think now is the time to fade them.